answers the phone, and the guy she been having this affair with is like, I'm leaving my wife. I told her everything. Who is this? Girl, how many married men are you sleeping with? What do you, if somebody call your phone and say, hey, I told my wife I'm leaving her, we done. You don't know who it is? So the guy, I think his name is Ken, ends up telling Samantha he's in love with her. She's just like, no. You love your wife. No, I'm in love with you, Samantha. I'm leaving my wife. And then she gets a call on the other line, which is his wife, saying that they're in love. She's going to do whatever she can to keep the marriage together, including joining her husband and Samantha in bed. And again, she's just like, no. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will be recapping Sex and the City Season 1, Episode 8. Now, since, and just like that, it's terrible, and y'all haven't moved on. I know y'all still watching, but I ain't. We are going back and reliving the original Sex and the City series. Now, in this episode, with Carrie's voiceover, she announces that Charlotte is in love, and I mean, that's nothing new. Charlotte always in love, but this time, she ends up with the guy that poses the inevitable question, according to Carrie, of what are your fantasies? And because the show likes to paint Charlotte as very buttoned up, conservative, traditional, even though she has just as much escapades as all the other girls, her response to this question is, oh, I'd love to own a gallery. But the guy is like, no, I mean like your fantasies. So he ends up telling her that he would like for them to have a threesome. His fantasy is her with another woman. And you would think the woman that is super conservative would have a different reaction to this. But she's actually like, got a little gleam in her eye and isn't completely, put off, because his pitch is, oh, you have no idea how sexy you are. So Charlotte is so sexy, he want to go get another woman to throw in the mix. Okay. So, of course, all the girls get together for lunch, and Charlotte, with a smile on her face, she looks so giddy, is telling all the ladies that her boyfriend wants them to do a threesome. And Miranda's like, of course he does. And they go into this conversation about threesomes and who hasn't had one and who has. Of course, no one has except Samantha. Wait, Miranda thinks she has, because one night in college she got drunk and woke up in someone else's bra. But they go into this conversation and Charlotte is saying how he thinks I'm hot. And baby, this is why I say Miranda is the closest to my mind, because Miranda's like, he's just buttering you up. Duh, girl. First you start, he gets you thinking you all hot and looking good. Now you got a little steam puffing you up. Next thing you know, y'all rolling downhill. So Charlotte ends up with Samantha giving her the advice that it's best to, include a stranger, not anyone that's a good friend. But Charlotte is like, no, I'd rather a friend that I trust, like Carrie. And Carrie's like, oh, no, Samantha. And everyone's sitting there going through that. And Samantha is like, oh, it is something, attractive about a first timer like Charlotte. And Miranda's sitting there like, the hell am I, chopped liver? So Miranda now, you would think this is like just a little innocent moment, but no. Miranda is going to spiral because her friends will not include her in a threesome in this hypothetical threesome situation. So then Carrie goes into her column about how is Samantha right? Are threesomes the new frontier? And that's when we get this collage of, we got like a 3-seater bicycle? Y'all, was that a thing? So, of course, Carrie does her column thing and she goes into how looking around, threesomes are everywhere and men are infatuated with threesomes, and Is Samantha right when she says that threesomes are the new frontier? And the threesomes that she sees everywhere, that she says our lives are built on threesomes, is business class, economy, first class, non-fat, low-fat, fat. I'm saying, like, baby, I don't think those are threesomes. That's just, I don't know, 3 options. But Charlotte ends up out on a date again with Jack, and he's like, what do you think of her? You think she's attractive? Oh, no, she's more your type. And then this lady comes over to ask Charlotte, does she have a light? Charlotte's like, I don't smoke. Oh, too bad. So the guy is like, she was hitting on you. You don't realize you have this fire inside of you. You're giving off this energy. And the conservative Charlotte is so hyped. She has a dream about her and Jack having a threesome. And I'm just like, baby, is you conservative or not? And of course we get to Samantha, who is having an affair with a married man, who's like, I'm so glad you're not my wife. Samantha's glad she ain't his wife. And I feel like, y'all know I love Samantha Chad, but it's a difference between like between being like sexually free and like with a married man. I don't know. We took it a little too far. But we end up then seeing psychotic Miranda at therapy, talking about a dream where she's in a sandbox and her friends won't play with her. How you go from you weren't included in a hypothetical threesome to Charlotte, not Miranda, she is Miranda. Charlotte, Samantha, and Carrie won't play with you in the sandbox. Like, y'all, Miranda's spiraling, but it's all good because I be doing the same damn thing. But come on now, child, we're going a little too far. And she tells her therapist she knows it's juvenile, but she can't get over this. Now, Carrie and Charlotte are walking down the street having a conversation about Charlotte's dream and how she's wondering, she's asking Carrie, like, should I do the threesome with Jack? But Carrie is telling her, don't just do it, for Jack. But Charlotte ends up saying that it could bring them closer together. And in a very rare moment of having a little bit of sense, Carrie tells her, don't you think it's odd you're considering sleeping with someone else to get closer to Jack? But then Charlotte says, well, how well do we ever know anyone? Because her initial comment was, getting to know Jack better by doing this. And it's like, well, how well do we know anybody we sleep with? And for some reason, Carrie thinks this is like amongst like the level of Dalai Lama intelligence. And I'm just like, that wasn't really nothing very profound. Like, I don't understand. But you know what? For this group it is, child. But then, of course, Charlotte starts going into, is my hair too shiny today? And there is the Charlotte that we know and love. And later, when Carrie is by herself, she goes into how if even Charlotte is considering a threesome, is it something that everyone is considering? And how when she looks in the paper, there are more ads for couples looking for a threesome than there are ads for studio apartments. So this is the way. Now, Carrie is feeling like she is the last person left on the island of Manhattan who still believes in a one-on-one relationship. She is over at Biggs because she has been spending the night. And she goes to put this tie on Big. And in true Carrie fashion, she asks him a question that she actually doesn't really want to know the answer to, because he's telling her how he could swing an hour between meetings. But Carrie says, no, I have to do this interview. I have to interview someone about a threesome. Have you ever had one? And he's like, yeah, of course. Who hasn't? And she's all shocked. I'm just like, baby, then you asked the question. But y'all know this is what Carrie does. So Carrie ends up going into like, who did you have a threesome with? And Big is like, my wife. And she just about chokes him with the tie. And of course, Carrie had no idea that Big was married. So this feels like a bomb being dropped on her. And she gets together with the ladies and they're shopping, not eating this time. And of course, Miranda, being the psychopath that she is trying on this lipstick like, does this turn you on? Because she's still so obsessed with her friends not choosing her for this hypothetical threesome that will never actually happen. Now, after Miranda tries to appeal to her friends with this lipstick, and she gets rejected again when Carrie tells her it's a little too orange, she decides to get payback for them rejecting her by telling Carrie, hey, you need to check out the X, which is a terrible idea. So Carrie looks this woman up, finds out all this info, goes to see her at her job under the guise of this appointment with her. But out of all the research, she had no idea the lady does children's books. Like, she's shocked that that's what she does. Didn't you research her? So she ends up having to throw out the idea she was originally going to pitch and just make up something on the fly about a little girl named Kathy who has these magic cigarettes. And Big's ex, Barbara, ex-wife, is seemingly perfect in Carrie's eyes, including the fact that she's like the chairman of the Special Olympics board or something like that. And Carrie ends up with Big, and they're in bed, and all she can see is hallucinations of the ex-wife. And Big ends up he's able to recognize that something is up with her. So he tells her, I didn't tell you about being married because it was so long ago. Now, objectively, if you dating somebody, and not just dating, but are in a relationship, I would hope you tell me you were married. So I don't blame Carrie for being very shocked when he tells her this information. But to me, this is a sign that the person you're dating is very withholding. Now, we end up seeing Samantha running into the guy that she's having an affair with. And I don't know why she just kind of fumbles this, because the wife is like, do you know her? And Samantha's like, yeah, hey, we know each other. But the husband ends up being like, yeah, not really. She just bought something from me. Yeah, I don't really know her. And we then see Miranda in her damn therapy office. And see, child, everybody be talking about therapy these days. But this is why I be like, this therapy don't be helping y'all. Because y'all need like a crew of folks to like be working on y'all. Because this one-on-one therapy Miranda doing, yeah, it ain't helping at all. And she ends up telling the therapist, like, would you have a threesome with me? Girl, are you not getting help? No, she not, y'all. Like, well, we see where she ended up. The damn therapy did not help Miranda Hobbs at all. It's crazy how Miranda keeps having these dreams off this one conversation. The current dream she tells in this appointment before asking if the therapist will have a threesome with her, is that she rides in the cab with all her friends and they won't let her sit in the back. They force her to sit up front with the cab driver. Miranda, girl! What is going on? Wow, the way we had nothing better for a storyline for Miranda this episode besides being obsessed with her friends not picking her for this hypothetical threesome. Like, that's the best we could do for Miranda. Okay. But you know what? It's a funny storyline, so I'll just go with it. So Carrie ends up having lunch with Barbara. And when I think about it, ain't it kind of deceitful to go snooping around, hanging out with your current boyfriend's ex-wife unbeknownst to him? But Barbara ends up telling her that the people, at the top did not go for the children's book about little Kathy and her magic cigarettes. And that she would like for them to be friends. So they end up hanging out, having drinks, staying for a while. And Carrie ends up going into, have you ever been married? Because obviously she's trying to dig and get dirt regarding the marriage with Mr. Big. And Barbara tells her she was married once and it ended because he had a wandering eye that wandered right on over to her best friend. Child, if you go digging for information, be prepared for the info you could get, may get, might get, and be prepared for what are you going to do with said information. Now, Samantha's little no muss, no fuss tryst ends up spiraling when she gets a call. And this was funny because Samantha answers the phone and the guy she been having this affair with is like, I'm leaving my wife. I told her everything. Who is this? Girl, how many married men are you sleeping with? What do you, if somebody call your phone and say, hey, I told my wife I'm leaving her, we done. You don't know who it is? So the guy, I think his name is Ken, ends up telling Samantha he's in love with her. She's just like, no. You love your wife. No, I'm in love with you, Samantha. I'm leaving my wife. And then she gets a call on the other line, which is his wife, saying that they're in love. She's going to do whatever she can to keep the marriage together, including joining her husband and Samantha in bed. And again, she's just like, no. Y'all ever saw, was it the movie Us, when the lady's like, no, not Us, Get Out. No. Like, that's what Samantha was giving in this scene. The lady from Get Out saying, no. And I'm just like, how this happen, Samantha? You supposed to be keeping all this stuff in check, and you messed up when you ran into him on the street and talk about, oh yeah, we do know each other. So now you done made the wife suspicious. But now the man leaving his wife. So everybody this episode are in threesomes of some kind. Well, except Miranda, who is just focused on not being a part of a hypothetical threesome. But I guess you could say I'm a part of a threesome. Me and my two dogs, Zaya and Baby. We're a threesome. Now, Charlotte and Jack are at this masquerade ball, and we're going through, and of course, we're looking at possible threesome participants. And that's when Charlotte notices a woman with like a peacock mask, and she's like, do you like peacocks? And she ends up winking at the lady, who winks back at her. And Charlotte gets so giddy. She's like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. And she runs up the stairs. And Jack follows behind her. He's like, how did that feel? Weird. And Charlotte's like, I have another fantasy. So they end up, because there is a party, but they end where Charlotte ran off. They're in this bedroom. So they start hooking up. When Peacock walks in, like, can I join you? And Charlotte, Miss Conservative, was like, oh yeah, come on, honey, come join us. But Charlotte ends up getting kicked the hell damn out the fantasy. And Carrie's voiceover is like, well, I guess Jack found somebody whose fire burned brighter than Charlotte's. They literally start making out, pushing Charlotte off the bed. And Charlotte just bows out gracefully. She just walks out of the room. So then we end up seeing Miranda. Now, I ain't like this. Miranda was dead wrong. So Miranda ends up answering this couple's ad about a threesome. And they're excited when she comes in because they're like, oh, all the other women who have answered the ad have been ugly. So Charlotte is like, let me just get this. Let's be clear. So you want to have a threesome with me? And they're like, yes. Are you busy tonight? So Miranda ends up saying, you know what? Let me just make a phone call. But she don't go make a phone call. She dips out the restaurant. Now, you was dead wrong. This couple has been on a search for somebody, and you out here playing with people's emotions. And she tells her therapist about it, who suggests she come see him 3 times a week. But I would suggest she go to like an actual institute and like admit herself and stay there. Now, Carrie and Mr. Big are walking home after a date, and he's like, oh, that meal was great. And Carrie's like, yeah, it was. But Big is like, no, actually it wasn't. We were talking to each other like strangers. Like, what is going on with us? What is up with you? And Carrie is like, you dropped this bomb. You tell me you were married. You tell me you had a threesome. Yes, I asked. But you don't even tell me any information. You don't tell me why you broke up. And Big is like, because I cheated on her. And Carrie says, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know you know. She told me. But Carrie is like, wait. See, you didn't tell me you are still talking to her. But I'm like, Carrie, you ain't tell him you talking to her. But Big is like, the reason we had the threesome is because we were looking for something or someone else. You know, anyone that's right for me? And then all is well in the world and they are back on track in their relationship. How we got from point A to point B is beyond me. I have no idea. Like, what did it take exactly for Carrie to not be upset no more and for the threesome to be over because she stopped hallucinating about the Barbara character and it was just them two again? And the moral of the story that we get at the end is threesomes are easy. It's intimacy that's hard. I don't know what happened, but hey, it was an entertaining episode. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one as we continue going back down memory lane of Sex and the City, the original series. Thank you.